In the ever-evolving landscape of the job market, 2024 promises a resurgence in hiring with an anticipated expansion. How will the job market perform? And which industries stood resilient in 2023 amid all the challenges? Watch this report to know more.
As we kickstart our 2024 journey, let us begin by reflecting on the year gone by. 2023 was marked by a 5% decline in hiring activity. However, a glimmer of hope emerged with a 2% uptick in December, hinting at a potential turnaround. The maritime and shipping industry surged by 28%, capitalizing on increased global trade and managing supply chain disruptions. Simultaneously, the retail and travel and tourism sectors both witnessed a 25% uptick, reaping the benefits of the resurgence in consumer spending. The ad, market research and public relations sector, it saw an 18% increase, attributed to the rise of digital marketing and e-commerce. NGOs and social services witnessed a steady 12% growth, reflecting a continued commitment to social causes. On the flip side, sectors like IT, healthcare and manufacturing faced challenges. The IT sector, both hardware and software, experienced an 18% decline, while healthcare and manufacturing struggled with a -12% and -8% respectively. Within organizations, strategic shifts in functional roles were evident. HR and admin roles saw a 9% increase, emphasizing the importance of efficient workforce management. Customer service roles, however, faced a 24% decline due to increased automation. A notable shift in geographical hiring patterns occurred, with Tier 2 cities like Ahmedabad emerging as potential growth engines, offering a 6% increase. Meanwhile, traditional hubs like Bangalore and Pune witnessed declines of 16% and 13%. But what are the job trends we can expect in 2024?
2023 was a forgettable year for the Indian job market as a host of global factors weakened the job growth. But 2024 promises to be the year when the job market will break the loop and plunge ahead. Job market is expected to grow by 8.3%. Industries like manufacturing, banking, automotive, retail, travel and tourism will offer more job opportunities this year. 2024 looks like a year of growth, adaptability and resilience. This is Adya Juneja reporting for WION World is One.
All right, to discuss this further, we are now being joined by Ms. Neeti Sharma, co-founder and president of Team Lee's EdTech, joining us live from Bengaluru. Welcome to World Business Watch, ma'am.
Thank you, Shivan. Nice to be here.
Ma'am, what are the major hiring trends that you see for 2024? Let's start with that.
So I think, like your report also indicated, there is, despite the various challenges we've seen in the global, cases and events that have happened in the last year, 2024 promises to be a year where there will be obviously uptick in many hiring, cases, lots of instances that we have seen already in the last quarter. There is going to be an increase, lots of industries that are actually looking at bringing in more talent. Of course, I think the shift would be the kind of skills and the kind of jobs that are actually getting created, because we know that today we are living in a digitalized world, right? Anyone that actually has been part of any industry clearly sees that we're living in the early stages of AI, right? And this means that the skills that will be required will be mostly in either the technical domains or the soft skills or the communication skills kind of domain. So the hiring would largely depend on what skills the job seekers bring to the market. I think the recruiters, the companies that are hiring across sectors, whether it is manufacturing, agri-tech, biotech, fintech, and we see a lot of demand being increased in these sectors. The job would actually entail composite skills as against just an individual skill, which what I mean is that it would be a combination of technical domain knowledge and skills, but also a lot to do with soft skills, with communication skills across sectors. So it doesn't matter whether I'm in the IT industry or I'm not in the IT industry, I think digital literacy, digital skills is very important. And, whether it is manufacturing, we've been talking about Industry 5.0, whether it's agri-tech, biotech, fintech, the banking financial sector, retail, e-commerce. I think all these industries are set to hire, a larger number of people than what they did in the last year. IT, of course, has been muted, all of last year, but we've seen that there is an uptick in that sector as well. Anywhere between 5 to 8% is what we believe would increase in 24, at least for that one sector for sure.
Ma'am, now you mentioned a number of industries which will be looking to hire. You also mentioned what all job seekers would be sort of bringing to the table. I just wanted to take it from the employer's perspective here. What kind of skill sets would employers be increasingly wanting in prospective candidates here?
I think data skills, digital skills, generative AI understanding, not really coding of in Gen AI, right? But how do I incorporate artificial intelligence and generative artificial intelligence in my workplace? If I'm a finance professional, how can I use Gen AI to improve my productivity and efficiency? I think those kind of skills. ML engineering, machine learning engineering is another skill set that's bound to increase, depending on, which sector you're going to apply from. And of course, there are other data, cybersecurity, cloud computing kind of skills. But apart from that, like I mentioned, I think the skills demand would clearly fall into either of the two categories. Then one where the enabling organizations to unlock the potential for frontier technologies and tools, irrespective of which sector I'm talking about. And secondly, about maximizing the value of human qualities and abilities. So that learnability is a skill that I think all employers continue to look at. You can't be complicit and say, hey, I've got a job and that's what it is. I think being resilient, being agile, being, continuously learning, upgrading themselves is a soft skill that I would look at, apart from, of course, the domain technology skills, or just the specific industry skill. If I'm talking about, we're talking about, e-commerce, we're talking about BFSI hiring in large numbers. Candidates need to understand what the sectors going through, what is the churn, what is the change happening. You can't, none of us are actually doing banking in a traditional manner anymore. Right? So even people who are being hired in the industry have to actually adapt to this change, what consumers are looking for. So I think just continuous change, domain knowledge, understanding what the change is going to be, and of course continue being able to learn, I think is something that all industries and all employers are very keen to look at from the candidates.
Ma'am, I want to slip in one quick question. Another one. Now, what could be the impact of a global slowdown on jobs in India in 2024?
Yeah, obviously we've seen that it has made some impacts, right? However, if we look at that I think despite the global slowdowns, the demand for, let's say, Indian exports have obviously come down. So that's where the negative impact on growth. And we were hearing about the reports which said that manufacturing also had a negative impact last year. But with the fact that a lot of manufacturing industries are moving in from China to India, clearly there is an increase in demand that's going to happen. There's a lot of capital infusion that will happen in that industry. So pure play Indian economy, I think, will start moving probably far more better than what the global economy is actually growing. And we've seen this happen even last year, even the last 5 to 10 years ago, when we had all the downturns in the global economy. The Indian economy, in a way, kind of stood resilient at a certain percentage. Of course, we're still talking single digits. We're not talking, double digits or growing beyond that. But I think there is movement in the Indian economy. The manufacturing sector is expected to recover very, very clearly. In this year, there is obviously lots of investments and impetus put in by the government of India to ensure that this sector actually grows much faster. Obviously, other sectors like the services sectors, they'll continue to remain resilient and grow at the steady state that they have been growing, last year as well. And
So
this
the
is
resilience
largely
continues here.
Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
this is also because of very strong demand, domestic demand in services such as healthcare, education, telecom. That's not going away. I mean, India is a large country, there's just so many moving parts. So all of this is going to ensure that we continue to grow at a certain steady state. So net, I would say that the future is obviously looking very, very positive. There are some risks that obviously we need to manage because, what happens in the global economy bound to have some negative impact in India as well. At the same time, while I mentioned manufacturing earlier, EV manufacturing, I think, is another sector that is growing multifold. And we've seen this in the last 2 years, the number of EV vehicles being sold, whether it's two-wheelers, four-wheelers, right, commercial, industrial. So there's a whole lot of things
Okay.
happening in India now. Yeah, so I think the outlook definitely looks positive on that
Outlook
front.
remains positive and India remains resilient. Thank you so much for joining in on World Business Watch, ma'am. Always a pleasure speaking with you. That was Ms. Neeti Sharma joining us from Bengaluru.
Thank you.